What's up, guys? It's the Football Take Slayer, back again with another tier list. Today we're going to be focusing on the Premier League midfield transfers that have gone through. Last episode we focused on the forwards. Today we're focusing more on the midfielders. I know last episode we had some wingers and we had some attacking midfielders in the forwards position. I think a lot of these wingers nowadays basically just play as an inside forward. A lot of these attacking midfielders like Verts kind of play as an inside forward as well, if not a shadow striker. So I included them in the forwards list. Today we're going to be focusing more on like traditional eights, more box-to-box midfielders, and the traditional six. There hasn't been that many signings so far, but a lot of these signings are pivotal. And I think a lot of the midfield signings typically happen towards the end of the window. After there's been a game or two played, you're seeing that you're struggling in midfield and you try to bolster it. So we're probably going to see a lot more signings in the midfield in these next coming weeks, and as more signings come through, I will be updating the list and giving my opinion on each and every one of them. So first, we're going to be focused on Christian Norgard. I'm going to be putting Christian Norgard at B tier. 12 million euro fee from Brentford captain, 31 years old, basically a Jorginho replacement for Arsenal. I think he's a good player. I think he's quality. I think they needed this type of player to come in since you just lost Jorginho. You need a quality backup six. I think having someone with Premier League experience, played for a good team, kept them up. The captain, he brings a level of physicality that Jorginho didn't bring, although Jorginho brought a level of technicality that Christian Norgard doesn't bring as well. But I think Jorginho's legs in this last year and a half, he couldn't really keep up with the pace of the league. And although he could play the correct pass, he could keep the ball flowing from left to right. If there was ever a turnover of the ball in transition, he just was non-existent. He couldn't keep up. So I think letting him go, bringing in a Premier League proven player, a captain, someone who will give you a good 20 minutes to shore up the midfield at the end of a Premier League game when you're up 1-0, or just someone that's quality enough to come in a Carabao Cup game start, hold the sixth position down, bring in some physicality, play the ball from left to right. I mean, I just saw him play against AC Milan, and he was quality. Again, he's not going to be doing anything groundbreaking. He's not going to be playing these line-breaking passes every game, but he'll be an anchor, he'll progress the play, and that's all you could really ask for a backup six. So 12 million euro fee, I think it's a great bit of business, and I'll be putting him in at B tier. And following that up, Zubimendi, I'm going to be putting him at A tier. I think Zubimendi's a class player. I think he's one of the best sixes in the world. I think he's kind of more of a Busquets, Jorginho type of six instead of like a Moise Caicedo enforcer, like anchor type of six. But I think that's what Arsenal needs. They kind of want somebody that'll keep the ball progressing, play these line-breaking passes into Odegaard and Declan Rice. And they aren't looking for more of like a Moise Caicedo anchor type. They're looking for someone that will progressively pass the ball. I think 26 years old, entering his prime, coming from Real Sociedad. Partey just left, even though I thought Thomas Partey is a great player. He's left. I think this is a really, really great replacement. I think this is definitely a slight upgrade on Thomas Partey. I think the only issue I have with the signing is I think the 70 million euro fee is a bit much. I know he's a quality player. I know Liverpool wanted him last year. They weren't able to purchase him. So I know you would have to pay a large fee. He's also been starting for Spain not over Rodri, but Rodri's been injured recently, and in place of Rodri, he's been starting and playing amazing for his national team. So I understand slightly the fee, but I think it was a slight overpay. That's why it's an A tier signing, not an S tier signing. But again, I think this is a really great signing for Arsenal. Moving on now, I'm going to be focusing on Jordan Henderson to Brentford. I'm going to be putting him in at A tier. And again, this doesn't mean I think he's the same quality as Zubimendi or if he's better than Christian Norgard. I think I'm putting it in as the situation he's going to, the impact he's going to have on his direct team. What kind of impact is he bringing? And I think he's bringing an A tier level impact. He's 35 years old. He's on a free. That's like really pivotal to the signing. It's a free. Brentford just lost their captain in Norgard, like we just discussed. This is somebody that's coming in with Premier League experience, who played at the top, has won almost everything, And he was just at Ajax. Although he hasn't had a great time at Ajax, at least he was still playing at a really high level. So it's not like he was playing in a really terrible league and coming back to the Prem after just playing at a really low level for 2 years. He's been playing at a really high level for the last 2 years. And I think he'll be able to come in and shore up that midfield. He'll be a stopgap. You lost Christian Norgard. You weren't expecting that. You'll now have a year or two of Jordan Henderson being able to hold that spot until you're able to find a legitimate good replacement that's in their mid-20s to fully take over that position. So I think this is a great signing. I think this is literally perfect business from Brentford. Even though I am starting to get worried about Brentford, you can't sell your captain, you can't sell your 2 best goal scorers in the same window, so they need to be careful. Moving on next, Dario Isugo to Chelsea. I'm going to be putting him at D tier. 20 years old, loaned from Sporting to Las Palmas last season. Listen, he's really great defensively. He's the standard anchor. He is so good. He sits in front of these center backs, and he's a quality anchor that breaks up the play. But he lacks a lot on the ball. I don't think he's good technically. He really doesn't progress the ball well. He doesn't carry the ball well. He doesn't progressively pass the ball well. I think a 22 million euro fee is not terrible. But ultimately, why I'm putting him at D tier is I just don't think he'll ever play for Chelsea. They have Enzo Fernandez. They have Moise Caicedo. They have Romeo Lavia. He's not going to even be on the squad, I don't believe, coming into the season. I believe they'll probably loan him out. And I think he's going to be one of those players that there's so many of them at Chelsea that is just going to be loaned out every single season until eventually they're sold. So I'm just low on him because I don't even think he'll ever see the pitch for Chelsea. So that's why I think he's a D-tier signing. I think eventually they'll probably sell him for even 20 mil, and they'll maybe make money or even just lose nothing. So, no harm, no foul. But again, I just don't think he'll have any impact on Chelsea. Moving on next to Anton Stach. I'm going to be putting him at A tier. I really like the business. 26 years old, has a good amount of experience in the Bundesliga, 20 million euro fee from Hoffenheim, so it's not an overpay. Really solid defensive midfielder, can somewhat score the ball. He's always a threat. He likes to have a shot. 6'4", can crash the box well, decent threat on corners. He's very decent technically, and he's really great at progressing the play, at least through progressive passes. So at least you have a 6 that isn't only just an anchor. He can also progress the play, which Leeds is going to need. And I think, again, Leeds were just promoted. They've been demoted about 2 years ago. I think a huge issue with these teams that are constantly promoted and demoted are these midfields that just get ran through by the better teams. They can't compete in midfield. If you don't want to get relegated, you need to be able to compete in midfield as a team that was just promoted. And I think Anton Stach is part of this double pivot that's going to really, really make a big difference for Leeds and probably even keep them up. And I'll talk about the next part of the double pivot right now, and his name is Sean Longstaff. And I'm going to be putting him in at S tier. And again, this doesn't mean I think he's better than Zubamendi or Stach or anything. This means I think his impact at Leeds United is going to be extreme. I think it's going to be such a huge impact for Leeds United. This is a guy, 27 years old, Premier League proven, 14 million euro fee from Newcastle. That is a really low fee in today's market. You're getting a Premier League proven player for 14 million euros. He's had a bit of a resurgence in the last 3 years. I know most recent year he didn't play that much, but the 2 years prior, he played a great amount for Newcastle, and he was really important to their team. He's a quality box-to-box presence. He has physicality. He scores. 2 seasons ago, he scored 6 goals, had 4 assists. That's double-digit output from your box-to-box midfielder. That's great. If he could do that for Leeds United, they can stay up. Him in a double pivot with Stach, I think, is going to be so great. I think Stach will really, really shield the center backs, and then Sean Longstaff will be able to kind of have more of a box-to-box presence where he'll be able to crash the box and even score goals. So I think he's going to be pivotal for them staying up, which is why I have him as S tier for Leeds United. And next up is Reinders for Manchester City. This guy is instantly S tier. This is the best midfield signing in the entire Premier League this offseason. I'll even put him right here just so everyone knows. I'm putting him ahead of anything. This guy's a 55 million euro fee. I think AC Milan could have got a lot more for him. I'm surprised they only sold him for 55 million euros. He's 26 years old. He's entering his prime. He's elite at every aspect of football. He's elite at progressively carrying the ball, progressively passing the ball, scoring, assisting. He's even decent defensively. He's physical. He's basically a young version of Ilkay Gundogan is the way I like to think of him, but more physical. He scores double-digit goals. He gets double-digit assists. He does every aspect of football so well. I'd be surprised if he doesn't start almost every single game for Manchester City, even with Pep Guardiola being the type of manager that constantly rotates. I don't think you can rotate a player like this out. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get double-digit goals this season and almost double-digit assists. That's how quality of a player this is. Moving on now to another Manchester City signing in Nijpin. This is a wonder kid, 15 million euro fee. I think he's around 18 years old. Listen, I think he can be a quality signing. I think he'd be a quality player. But I get scared when wonder kids go to big squads like this that need to win everything. If you're playing for Manchester City and you don't win everything, that is seen as a season that was wasted. I think a player like this might never even see the pitch for Manchester City, and I think they might end up... I'm always worried that Nijpin might become an Odegaard for Real Madrid, where you're a wonder kid and you go to a big squad, a big team too quickly, and then you're just forever loaned out, just like I said Asugo might be. You're forever loaned out, and then you'll never even play for Manchester City. You're going to have to wait for another team a bit smaller than Manchester City to buy and then finally get you to start for them. So I'm worried he'll never really play for Manchester City, which is why I'm putting him at C tier. I think I'm putting him at a higher level than Asugo just because the fee is cheaper, and I just think he's overall just a better player. Moving on now to Habib Diarra. I'm going to be putting him in at B tier. Habib Diarra moving to Sunderland. 21 years old, 31 million euro fee from Strasbourg in League One. He's more of an attacking midfielder, 4 goals and 5 assists last season. He's great at carrying the ball, and he has a great eye for a pass. He has an amazing eye for a pass. I think he's going to be part of a Sunderland midfield that they're trying to really bolster and really make quality, which I really respect. Again, when you're a team that just got promoted, your midfield needs to be able to compete. I don't know if the reason why I'm not too high on this signing, I think the 31 million euro fee was a little bit much. I get he's 21 years old. I don't know if he'll be able, if he just got 4 goals and 5 assists in League One, I don't know if he'll be able to get more than that in the Prem, which I'm worried about. And I think he needs to get more than that if Sunderland are going to stay up. If they're going to stay up, he needs to get 8 goals and 6 assists, and that would be a good signing. But I don't know if he'll be able to do that, which is why I'm keeping him at B tier. And moving on to another midfield partner for Sunderland, Enzo Laffi, 25 years old, 23 million euro fee from Roma. He played at Sunderland last year, so I think it's really good to keep that continuity. You need some level of new players to bring a spark and same players to bring the continuity when you just got promoted to the Prem. And I think this player staying at Sunderland, bringing the continuity, then purchasing him off the loan, really important. I think he's a really, really sound defensive midfielder. He's great at carrying the ball, and he's great at progressively passing the ball. So again, this is going to be someone that can win duels, anchor the midfield pretty well, and then also just pass the ball, split the lines, and pass it to an attacking midfielder or a winger. So I think this is someone that will really bring an impact to Sunderland. Someone to look out for. I think he'll be able to move to a bigger, better team if Sunderland were to get back to being relegated, which is a big chance because it's not easy now to get promoted and stay up. But I'll put him in at A tier. This is a player really to look out for. He's a really quality player. And finally is Noah Siddiqui, also for Sunderland. I'm putting him at C tier. Listen, he's 20 years old, 17 million euro fee, so not the end of the world. He's coming from the Belgian league. He plays every game. He doesn't miss games, which is availability is the best ability. But he's 5'5". I don't know how he'll be physically in the Prem. I don't know if he can handle the physicality. He's good technically. He's good on the ball. But he just brings no real goal output. He doesn't score goals. He doesn't really get assists. And again, I understand he's young, but he's played 70 games over the last 2 seasons. He's barely scored, barely assisted, and that's in the Belgian league. So if you're not scoring or assisting in the Belgian league, I don't know how much you'll be able to come over to the Prem and be able to score and assist in the Prem. But again, I think this is more of a signing for the future. I think this is a signing hoping everyone else, like the Habib Diarras and the Enzo Lafis and the Simona Dingras, will keep us up this season. And then next season afterwards, we're established somewhat in the Prem, and a player like Noah Siddiqui can come in at 21 years old and try to now start to develop more in the Prem. So I think this is more of a signing for the future, but again, I just don't love it. I don't think they'll have any instant impact in this season. And again, you need to stay up in the Prem, so every one of your signings should be really impacting you this season. You shouldn't even be looking too far in the future. So that's what I think about the midfield guys. Again, Reinders, top quality, the best midfielder signed all season. Sean Longstaff, the impact I think he'll have being Prem-proven, a real box-to-box presence. I think he'll really help Leeds stay up. Zubamendi, quality 6, Busquets-esque. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and thank you guys.